only on Edmonton Sports Talk. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for The Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla, as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio, Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Two guys and a goalie.
Babcock's gone. The Blue Jackets had an availability. They made a major mistake. Cass, your thoughts on how this looks on that organization?
Out of all the hires, this is the one that we felt was going to make us the best. Quite clearly, it was not.
It's just a weird kind of thing to do, to ask someone to look at their phone and the pictures on their phone. If you think by seeing a photo you're going to learn a lot about a person, then follow them on social media. I'm sure if Mike Babcock requested to follow a few members of his Columbus Blue Jackets, what he did was wrong. He hasn't changed a bit. Two
guys and a goalie with Gager, Cassian, and Nielsen. Tuesday and Thursdays at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey, Saturday mornings at 10, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla, as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio, Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for The Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
time for another episode of The Oil Stream with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola, presented by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen.
All right, it is 12 o'clock on a game day. You are on board with the Oil Stream. Tell your friends about the Oil Stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays right here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. You can listen live. Hey, if you've got any questions, it is preseason game number 3 game day. Let's go. What do you got? We're going to have some line combinations. At some point, Tommy Gazzola is going to join us. Not only is he not here today, he's also late connecting at home. So he will pop in here at some point. I think we are going to have I think he was there today. He didn't send out a single tweet from the rink today. So I have no idea if he was there or not. Like, if you're going to be there, be there. But Tommy's going to join us. He's going to be popping by. We do have some tickets he's managed to get his hands on. So if you want to go to the game tonight, be watching for that. We'll probably do a little text contest right now as well. But yeah, you feel free to join us. 780-218-9999. And we'll get to some of your comments in the YouTube chat as well. Dave Priest says, any word on the lineup tonight? All you need to know about the lineup tonight is the big boys are playing. We'll probably spend about 45 minutes here just discussing the decision to go with the top 6 that they're going with, which is going to be really good. Kane, McDavid, and Brown, Nuge, Draisaitl, and Hyman. Skinner in the starter's net, which is why you'll see on my lock shop play the day later on, I'm on the Oilers -1.5 tonight. Any of those concerns about, this team, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to score goals this year. That's about to be taken care of. I don't think you need to worry about that. Scurbs in this says Tommy's going to be late to his own funeral. Everybody just sitting around and being like, where's Tommy's body? What is happening here? I do like that one as well. But yeah, tell your friends about the Oil Stream. If you have any questions, hit us up as well. We'll see how it plays out with McDavid, Brown, and Kane, Draisaitl, Hyman, and Nuge. I don't think anybody should be really surprised by those combinations. We'll see what ends up happening on that front with those two guys moving forward. I do like the fact that we did get to see Nuge and Hyman and Kane together. If they do decide to go with McDavid, Draisaitl, and Brown, you kind of already got a little bit of a look at that and where that might end up be heading as well. Cagill is in and says, Tommy would fit in well at my company. Everyone here is always late. My manager is always half an hour late. Yeah, but managers is different. Managers can kind of do what they want, right? I mean, that's sort of how it works. I mean, it's extremely frustrating for everybody who shows up on time, but no, that's all right in the end. So we're gonna get to it. I think Tommy's got his new home studio. Look at this, Tommy Gazzola. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I apologize for being late. I would like to blame one Ryan Bartholomew Rashog, if that's
Why?
okay.
Why did Rashog make you late?
Well, okay, so I'm shooting the EST Rink Report, the smash hit EST Rink Report, and I'm like, I gotta go, and then he goes, hey. Just so, and listen, he's our friend, there's the whole Bell Media, TSN connection. And he's like, just so you know, you can use our lights, you can use our stuff, make it easy for you. And I've got this whole very compact, easy to put together
you got
setup.
the ring light kit, right? It's nice.
And it works great. Actually, Dave Parker, best camera guy in the world.
He is. Parker's a gem.
I fed the Rink Report through his filter, and he's like, you know what? It's really good. I like, just less ice in the background and clear up the headroom. So I've been doing that for the last couple of Rink Reports. And Shagar's like, I'm just saying, I'm trying to help the pod. And I instinctively was like, it's not a pod, right? And he walked away. So I was like, hey, man, sorry. I was just cheesing you, but we need to get it right. So I think he did that on purpose. But if I didn't have that interaction and then have to apologize, I would have been here 3 minutes prior.
Nielsen and Gazzola with you here on the Oil Stream. If you are listening live right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We will get into that as we work our way through the show today. Lots of text messages already rolling in. Tommy, what'd you say about tickets? What do we got about tickets there?
Hey, so we have a pair of tickets to give away, compliments of our good buddy Larry,
Okay.
who also brought in some socks for me yesterday that I will wear eventually on the hangout. But Larry can't make it to the game tonight,
Where did he
and
give you the socks?
he brought them to the studio yesterday.
Oh, that must have been after I ran out.
After, yeah, you have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
take care of Lizzie.
Yeah,
So
take care of the muzz.
Larry brought some socks, and I will wear them. They're Gretzky socks, like they have his
Okay.
face on them. So, and it's funny because people keep bringing up the socks, no socks thing, and my mom sent my dad back from Italy with a pair of socks for me, so I have to wear those, and like it's become a thing. On October 1st, I'll wear full length socks on camera for those that are
Wow, that's huge.
worried about this. Yes.
Yeah, that's
But
huge.
we do have a pair of tickets courtesy of Larry to give away. He's got great seats. They're club seats. They're right below where Jack and Louis do their
Okay.
broadcasts. So I don't know how you want to give them away, but
Well-
Lieutenant Eric will send those over to whoever we pick.
So just a straight up e-transfer? Like we just send them over,
A
obviously?
Ticketmaster transfer. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what I mean. Yeah, no, okay. All right, perfect. So yeah, we'll give those away a little bit later on the show. What was going on down at the rink today, buddy?
Well, let me just fix the light here. Yeah, there we go. That's a little nicer. You know what? The big thing is just the fact that McDavid and Draisaitl are playing, right? We're going to see Connor Brown for the first time. Skinner's going to get the starting goal. And I think the other thing, too, that's important of note is that we're going to see Brandon Sutter again, and he's going to have Matthias Janmark and Warren Fogle on his line. So outside of that, it's business now. And these guys, the big guys, are going to get their first taste of preseason action. It was business as usual. That's how I would describe it down at the rink today. And then, talking about Jay Woodcroft, the other thing that is noteworthy is that Woodcroft shed some light on the fact that Matthias Ekholm and Ryan McLeod are not being rushed back from their injuries.
Okay.
And he did mention that guys have been skating with like their own, like the injury skates that guys have throughout the season. They've been doing that, and they expect McLeod to be back soon, and Ekholm not far behind. So that was kind of an interesting tidbit to point out. And essentially, the way Woodcroft framed it was that they're not rushing them. My first thought when he mentioned, those guys skating on their own and that they're not far away was, oh, is this worse than we anticipated? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in the fact that it is still relatively early in training camp. They do have a lot of healthy bodies that are fighting for limited spots on the roster. They don't need to rush Ekholm and Ryan McLeod back into action right away, especially if they just need a few more days to heal up. Now, if we're talking about these two not being with the main group by this time next week, then, the red lights go off.
All right, couple of things. Let's get to one quick message from you, Chaz, Big Uke. Does Skinner getting the first start with the big boys lean toward him starting game one? Tommy, are you reading into this? I mean, I think we were all ready. You can bet it over at CoolBet. Who starts game one for the Edmonton Oilers? Stuart Skinner's a heavy favorite. Last time I looked, it was like minus 182. So, I mean, if you want to try to link the two, I guess you can. But if Jack Campbell would have started this game tonight, it wouldn't have made me have thought all of a sudden, oh, he's going to be starting the home opener,
Right. Yeah, I think that's fair, Chaz, honestly. I think that's them kind of nodding that he is their go-to guy. Now, is that 100% permanent and that's how it's going to be the entire season? Maybe, but, it's his first start. But it could be them kind of saying, yeah, Skinner's our guy. He gets the first look. He's ahead of Campbell in the pecking order. Things could change, and I use could with like a heavy underline. I don't think they will in the course of this training camp and preseason. I think that Skinner is their guy, but like we've said all along, heading into training camp, they need both guys. And I think listening to and talking with people and all within the Oilers organization, it's not, hey, we're giving one guy 60 and the other, 22 starts. It's going to be as close to 50-50 as they can make it. And will one of those guys probably start more than the other? Yes. Will it likely be Skinner? Also probably yes. So yeah, I think a bit of a nod, if you will, to Stuart Skinner being their go-to starter for right now and likely at the start of the year.
All right, Nielsen and Tommy with you. Let's do those tickets. What we'll do is we'll kind of give you a little contest here, and then you can just get in throughout the show. It'll be done via text. So if you're watching on the YouTube channel right now, hopefully you got your phone with you, and you can just sort of answer via text as well, 780-218-9999. If you do want to go to the game tonight, very simple question. Answer correctly. If you can go to the game, we'll draw somebody after. Which university did Dylan Holloway play hockey at? Nice. That's it. Answer that. You'll go into a draw. We'll draw one of you. You'll get a transfer through Ticketmaster of the tickets, and you can go to the game tonight. All you have to let us know is, and look, if you want to win these, maybe don't say it in the YouTube chat because other people see it. If they don't know, everybody knows. It's an easy way to get in. Everybody knows. Just text us at 780-218-9999. Where did Dylan Holloway play his college hockey? And you go into a draw for those tickets tonight for the Oilers preseason game. If you have any questions, 780-218-9999 or in the YouTube chat here as well. We call it the nasty chat in the mornings. Maybe we call it the oily chat during the oil stream. Get in the oily chat. There's something along those lines. Mix it up a little bit. There could be something that we could do there as well. So Tommy, somebody was asking earlier, so you said Sutter with Janmark and Fogle. Yeah. And then what else we got in that bottom six? Did they?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, I'm watching Adam Ernie out there and Malone, and they're wearing their gray sweaters, and Lavoie was back in a gray sweater again at the skate. So trying to decipher who the fourth line was kind of tricky because
we know we know the Sutter line's going. That's the thing.
Yeah, that line, right. And I think, Jack Michaels also put it out there via Twitter if you hadn't seen it yet. So that's what we're anticipating. Now, Derek Ryan and Dylan Holloway were also out there in white uniforms. So, I mean, I think we could see Derek Ryan back in action. Are we going to see Dylan Holloway? I feel like probably not because he's played the first
done two already. So
nights. And same with guys like Broberg don't expect him to play either. So yeah, that fourth line, the way I was looking at it was you're not playing Brad Malone, I don't think. Do you want another look at Ernie? Yeah, maybe. Do you throw Ryan back in there? Maybe.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a mishmash of those guys. Does Lavoie go again? Maybe. Right? Like, because he just played that game.
You could run Ernie, Malone, and Lavoie out there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted, you could do that. Shout out to Tube Socks, who guessed that Holloway played his college hockey at Lethbridge Community College. That's well done. That made me smile. That was funny. That was really well played. Incorrect. But one more time, if you do want to get in on those tickets for the Oilers preseason game tonight, just text us at 780-218-9999. There's tons of text messages rolling in. Where did Dylan Holloway play his college hockey? And we'll draw one of those names, and you will go to the game tonight. It is just that simple. All right. Well, let's dive into these line combinations. Preseason game one for the big boys. We did see Nuge center Hyman and Kane in another game. Tommy, when they asked the question about the goaltending a little bit earlier, when you see them roll out this top six, is this the top six that Jay Woodcroft wants to start the season with?
I would say yes. I don't think that in a perfect situation, everybody's healthy, good to go. Connor Brown's knee is all right. Yes, this is the top six that I think that they're going with. And that's okay. I think it's a good top six, to be honest with you. I think it's improved over last year's. I don't think we're not having the debate over Jesse Puljujarvi and where should he play and people being ridiculous with their statements saying that Jesse Puljujarvi makes Connor McDavid better. I mean, we're not talking about Kyler Yamamoto and debating if he's better on the fourth line or on the second line. That's gone. It's gone. And
it's gone, but Brown's still a major X factor.
Yes.
Right? Like, to me, it's not like they have a locked-in top six. I know it looks like they have a locked-in top six, but I'm not sure there aren't other players who'd be better fits for the top six than Brown coming off a year-long injury.
Right.
He's going to get that opportunity, and, you would assume he probably makes the most of it. But this is not like Kane and Hyman and Nuge are not playing outside of your top six. They're top six guys. Like, Brown, to me, is still a little bit of a wild card. If it works, then you're laughing, but I still think it's a little bit of a wild card.
Yeah, and I suppose my point is lesser so than the wild cards we were dealing with last year.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, but he hasn't played hockey in a year. So
this is true.
I'm very interested to see like how Connor Brown does and what people expect from Connor Brown.
You're not signing him for the salary plus the bonuses you give him to be a third line right winger. You're not giving him up to $4 million plus.
I mean, Kyler Yamamoto has had better offensive seasons. You know, it's not like Connor Brown rolls in here as a 60-point guy, right? Connor Brown's career high is 43 points. Outside of that, he's only hit 40 points once in his entire career,
and he's going to have to hit 40 points at minimum this year to garner some, consideration for next year as an Oiler, if that's what he wants. But, 40, like we said in the summer, is the minimum. 50 is good. 60 is great. Has he played with anyone as good as McDavid? And if somebody says Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, get out of here, because they're not on the same level.
I mean, nobody's ever played with anybody as good as Connor McDavid in today's National Hockey League, right? So
let's see if he can rekindle that magic that he had with McDavid back in junior. Now, will he? No, this is a way better league than the OHL. And
I was going to say, it's always funny, like the rekindling of magic from junior. There's some guys in junior who are freaking amazing and never even play in the National Hockey League, right? So it's tough to see. I like the idea of the risk of bringing in Connor Brown because of the way that the contract's structured, and the fact that he has this relationship with Connor McDavid is great. And maybe he scores 25 or 30 goals or something, and it ends up just being absolutely amazing. But he played last year. He only played the 4 games. The year before that, he played 64 games and had 10 goals. Now, it was Ottawa. It's not riding shotgun with Connor McDavid. So if it clicks with McDavid, I guess it could end up being good. But, yeah. Not so young Jedi Dennis says, don't make me nervous, Dusty. After taking Connor Brown in fantasy, I'm hoping for a Gretzky fire hydrant effect at minimum.
Who was that? Brett Callaghan back in the day? That's who it was? Or was it BJ McDonald?
A couple of guys that probably rotated through in that spot. So, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. He has... I don't even think this is an overstatement or an exaggeration. Connor Brown has the best opportunity in the entire National Hockey League this year.
Yeah.
Right? Tell me a player who has an opportunity as glorious as Connor Brown's, having not played hockey in a year and getting to skate with Connor McDavid. It's an insane turn of fortune for Connor Brown.
Yeah, absolutely it is. So, I don't know. I suppose, when I'm answering that question a couple minutes ago, I assume, and I just get the feeling, and maybe there's this reassurance or trust in what I think I know Connor Brown can provide to the Oilers consistently night to night, as opposed to trying to guess what Jesse Puljujarvi or Kyler Yamamoto would bring. And then if those guys weren't going and demoted, it would be someone else from, like Derek Ryan getting a look up there, or Warren Fogle. Like, it feels to me like if all is well and Brown's health and his knee is good and he can find some touch with McDavid or Draisaitl, however it shakes out, I'm not as worried or concerned, or look at that right side and go, ugh, that's a deep hole. That's 2 guys out of 4 that you don't know what you're getting on a night-to-night basis. I'm looking at if Brown is a steady, reliable, everyday National Hockey Leaguer like he has been, and he can get to that 40, maybe push for that 50 and get a new career high in points, I'm going, that's pretty good, because he's probably not going to be on the first power. He's not going to be. He's
not going to be on the first power play unit. Yeah.
So you could probably shave off, 10 to 15 potential points minimum by not being on the power play. So I think if he gets to 40, like I said, that's the standard. 50, good. 60, amazing. He would just have to go on a tear 5-on-5 and then surprise on the PK with a few points here and there.
Do you think it helps him that there isn't like a Yamamoto or Jesse Puljujarvi that the team wants to try to give that, or is Dylan Holloway actually that guy?
Dylan Holloway's the guy that I was thinking, what's your other option? I think it is Holloway, and I think Holloway is better suited to slide into the top 6 than, just toying with the ideal of Raphael Lavoie or moonlighting Fogle in there, or even throwing Derek Ryan in there like we've seen in small doses in years prior. So to me, the go-to should be Holloway. This is his opportunity to do it. I would also, if they falter and need to mix it up on the top 6 and they want a little spark, maybe we see Ryan McLeod at times this season. But to me, Holloway's the default next man up for the top 6 if they need to shake it up a little bit. And So far, he's been good. I mean, I know the team hasn't scored anything when it comes to preseason goals, but that first night they were close, and Holloway was buzzing. And then the second night, right after, Holloway was one of the lone bright spots, as was Lavoie, I thought too, in a game where, the result was what we anticipated. Although I will say they played really well in the second period as a whole, and Lavoie was playing good, and he was kind of spearheading that. So too was Holloway. But I think that team put together 2 good periods. That second period, I thought they controlled the play, and Holloway was spearheading that. Then the third period, I mean, they ran out of gas, and the Jets just dummied them. So it kind of ended up being the result we expected.
Tommy, on this third line, how big is so we saw McLeod, Fogle, and Ryan in the playoffs last year is kind of something that looked like it worked at times. Looked like there might have been some potential there for something. Mm-hmm. This Sutter, Janmark, Fogle line that we'll see tonight, is that like Janmark's kind of like he can play third line for sure. He can be more effective than Ryan at times. Would you view Sutter are they taking this line as a run for possible third line, or is this kind of running for the fourth line? Because Fogle's kind of been that third line guy for a while. So I guess that's why I'm kind of curious of what they might be expecting from this group.
I looked at it today when I was watching them. I'm like, that's kind of a mishmash hybrid. That's how I look at it. Like I think if anything, Dusty, this line is to give Sutter veteran guys on his wings to help him and to give him a true look, as opposed to putting him with potential rookies or true fourth line guys. And I know people will probably make the argument that Fogle and Janmark are fourth line guys on a really, really good team. That's a hell of a fourth line if they're your wingers. The Oilers are supposed to be a really, really good team. But even if Janmark and Fogle or one of them is on your third line for the majority of the year, I think most people are okay with that, especially if McLeod takes a step up. But yeah, I think this is kind of a mishmash. That's how I look at it. And Brendan Sutter, I think, and I feel like most people get and have the understanding that he is competing for fourth line center. No delusions of grandeur or anything like that. And he needs to put together a string of a couple of really good games here and show his puck touches are better and he can keep up as the pace gets faster and the competition gets stiffer. And if he just gives us a good glimpse of that player that we saw a few years ago is still there, then yeah, I think that he might threaten to make the team and force a contract. And where I see him though, Dusty, is not the fourth or third line center. It is fourth line center in a situation where everything plays out to plan, because I think they want McLeod to take that step. Now, if McLeod hypothetically falters and hypothetically Sutter makes the team and they flip them from time to time, that's okay.
Yeah, guys are going to be moved around quite a bit anyway, right? Yeah. That's like something that that everybody kind of looks at in this situation. Let's see here. Yeah, I see this. Pat just brought it up in the chat. Kelsey Snow has announced that that Chris sadly passed away. Yeah. It's been a difficult story to follow, but such an inspiring story to watch unfold. With it's been heartbreaking as a father to see this happening with the family, but for him to fight as hard as he did and continue to contribute the way that he did, buddy. Sadly, you kind of expected this news would come along at some point, but it's still a tough one to swallow.
It is. I mean, from all of us at EST, our hearts go out to the Snow family, Calgary Flames. Tough day. Incredible to see the fight in him.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
The candidness from Kelsey Snow and the family, keeping people up to speed, letting everyone know what's going on, kind of having them be a part of the fight, so to speak, was something that I personally have not seen via social media or experienced before. And I think it's a first for the hockey world or the NHL to see something like this. I feel like, that was a good thing because it probably brought a hell of a lot of awareness to ALS.
Oh, incredible job. Incredible job what that family did, man.
And very, very sad that this day has come. We did know that it was inevitable, unfortunately. And I think a lot of good came from seeing how the Snows handled this. You know what I mean? Looking on the positives of things.
Well, I don't know how they handled it so positively. I know when life hands you that hand and you handle it the way that they did, I'll never understand how they were able to do that. It was absolutely amazing. But also giving a lot of hope to people who deal with this as well, right? So just an amazing example, and our thoughts and prayers with the family down there. All right, let's step away quickly. We will come back. We'll get to more of your questions. Hit us up in the YouTube chat and text us as well, 780-218-9999. We'll reset that ticket giveaway for the game tonight as well. And we'll continue to kind of take a look at how this lineup's going to roll out. You know who else we're going to dive into? We'll dive into the Vancouver Canucks here as well and see where they sort of fit in. So we'll go there right here on the Oil Stream, brought to you in part by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. A spicy ghost pepper seasoning on those new wings. They got the sweet and spicy wing, 6 pieces, 12 pieces, sweet chili sauce. So they got the spicy with the ghost pepper seasoning, and then that sweet with the sweet chili sauce. We're gonna probably end up trying those. Well, I guess we'll be connected like this again on Friday because I'll be in Vancouver. But next week, when you're in studio here for an Oil Stream, buddy, we'll dive into a set of those. That should be absolutely amazing. And Oil Stream continues in just a few moments.
The Lock Shop.
We've been doing this for a long time. We spend all this time salivating over the season. Sometimes, if you haven't learned your lesson, you go hard betting on week 1, and then we get ready to get into week 3 of the season, going, "What the hell were we talking about for a month leading into the season?" Because everything we thought was the case was wrong. So I always tread a little lightly. And I try not to make these so definitive takes. Things can change very, very quickly, or maybe they have and we just haven't seen it yet.
The Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio. Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for the Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey, Saturday mornings at 10, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
All right, welcome back to the Oil Stream. Dusty and Tommy Gazzola with you. I was so rattled by the Damian Lillard trade that I couldn't get the audio back up properly. You see this deal, and I know this is Oil Stream, but
Yes, I saw
this is a major blockbuster in the NBA. Just quickly, the Bucks. This is a great landing spot for Dame with Giannis. Like, are you kidding me? We'll have to dive into this tomorrow morning heavy on the Nielsen Show. Jasmine in the nasty chat over there, the YouTube chat. Thank you very much for pointing this out. Bucks are receiving Damian Lillard. The Blazers are getting Drew Holiday and Ayton and a 2019 first round pick and Kamara and 2 pick swaps. And the Suns are getting Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon. And the NBA just knows how to do it. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-piece deal between 3 teams, buddy. I wish the NHL could pull stuff off like this.
Amazing. The NBA is high entertainment, whether it's on the court or off. And the point you make about the NHL trying to, or at some point ever cracking the ability to do this is amazing and should be what the league strives to do. And it was interesting reading Elliot Friedman's 32 Thoughts, because he talked to Luc Robitaille about this. And Robitaille was asked, I believe, about the MLS and the NHL being concerned about the MLS. And I think I've seen in the nasty chat over the last week or so and via our inbox, 780-218-9999, that people are like, should the NHL be worried about the MLS? And Luc Robitaille made a great point. He said that, why look in the rear view mirror? Look at the leagues you're chasing. And one of them is 100% the NBA.
100%.
And you're so far behind them now. But at least look at them and don't worry about who's behind you, because, yes, they're trying to catch you too. You should know that already. You should be trying to figure out a way to get to where they are in front of you, and that is the NBA. MLB, I suppose, might be the next. The NBA, I feel like, is better than the MLB at this.
I think it's I would agree with that, buddy.
So take a hit, and listen. You don't need 100-person trade to make that big impact. That would be amazing, but the little things that the NBA is able to do to accumulate buzz is next to none. Like them in the NFL, like this stuff we're seeing with Kelsey and Swift and his the merchandise bought.
Oh, it's insane.
Kelsey's up 400%. Like, listen, there are NHL players who date starlets, and musicians, but they generally keep it under the radar, and it would be nice to see. Well, it just
part of it is it stays under the radar because nobody cares, right? Like there's not a TMZ account hiding outside your house like there would be for some of these NFL stars, right? It's just it allows them. I'm sure they like it. It allows them to sort of fly under the radar a little bit in that situation. Anyway, blockbuster in the NBA. We'll dive into it tomorrow morning on Edmonton Sports Talk on the Nielsen Show #Association City. Boston Pizza, one of the proud presenting sponsors here of the Oil Stream. This is your final week. You got to get in on this right now to purchase those kids cards for kids 10 under to eat free. Just whenever you're there, ask to the server for all the details. Kids eat free 5 times with a $5 donation. That's it. $5 donation. You get 5 free meals, and you bonus 6th free kids meal as well when you purchase your card online at bostonpizza.com/ let me just bring up this / MyBP. bostonpizza.com / MyBP. And if you're planning on Getting some done on Friday, Fishbowl Fridays, and Boston Pizza as well. They'll get you taken care of. No complaints there. Are we here? Do we know? Actually, I want to get to. I saw this coming out. Because when you left, there was another group skating still. So you weren't there for Woodcroft today, right? Like,
I was there for Woodcroft.
you were there for Woodcroft.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Like, I just saw a tweet pop up talking about how the ideal 12 forward would be a center. But he said they would still take on this is from DNB. DNB tweeted this out. So I don't know if it's his words or if it's kind of, he basically said, per Jay Woodcroft, the ideal 12 forward is a center, which he hinted should give Sutter the edge. However, he was clear that the Oilers are going to carry the best 12 forwards. He said Derek Ryan will see preseason time at center as well, which would allow Lavoie or Ernie to kind of get the last spot if they decide to go with Derek Ryan. How much do you believe in the 12 best 12 forwards versus actually having a center get preference for that final spot?
All right. Well, Derek Ryan's name was brought up by DNB towards Jay Woodcroft, and Jay said, yeah, we could see
him at center type of thing.
Derek Ryan at center at some point. Is that ideal? I don't think so necessarily at this point, but in a pinch, I think most of us can appreciate Derek Ryan filling in, moonlighting at center.
That's some heavy minutes if it was down the middle regularly, though, right? For Derek Ryan at this stage with his build.
That's why you don't expect or want it.
Yeah.
But I think, in small doses, I'm just saying it's there. Jay Woodcroft also said in his availability today that he believes his team's known for its flexibility. And so I think a centerman or a true center like a Brandon Sutter getting, a bit of an advantage over guys who are known as wingers, and Ernie or a Lavoie, it's logical because you can always slide centers over to the wing here and there. And generally they play center because they know and think the game somewhat better. That's the perception. They're slightly more cerebral with the game, and centermen usually can skate better. And that's why they're, able to move to the wing in a pinch here and there. So if flexibility is key, if they want a center more than a winger to make it in that 12th spot, I get it. But that centerman, i.e. Brandon Sutter, has to outperform other guys to the point that they're confident enough that they can get a consistent shift from him every single night this season. And that's what he's trying to prove right now. And I totally understand that rationale. But, we're going into game 3 of the preseason. There's a lot of games left still and a decent amount of training camp time for these guys to win out and beat each other out of spots.
This is where all eyes would be on Sutter here, hey? It's funny, McDavid and Draisaitl, and I think people will be watching Brown and Sutter tonight just to kind of see how Brown looks physically, and to see, technically how Sutter looks physically too, considering he hasn't played in so long, right? So,
right,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that sorts itself out.
But it's kind of playing out how we expected, and these are the tantalizing kind of storylines in this training camp, but because we know everything else that's going on, and I still am at a loss at times, being like, really, we're talking about the last spot at forward, because they're only going to carry 12, and it's down to guys that they signed on 2 ways, and then a guy that was a really great third line center for a long time who's older and hasn't played in a couple of years, and then a young guy trying to push. So it's kind of interesting the way it has progressed, and now covering a team that's supposed to be really good and a contender. These are the juicy Popeyes nugs that we get to nibble on the Oil Stream on September 27th.
Well done, buddy. I like that. That's good. Pat Maroon's bib on the YouTube chat, and of course you can text us as well. We got Dylan Holloway trivia question for some tickets today, and it's very simple. Where did Dylan Holloway play his college hockey? If you can hit us up with that correct answer, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. You will go into a draw for those tickets, and we will transfer them over to the winner later on today. Pat Maroon's bib on the YouTube channel. I do like, that's a good handle. I think Pat Maroon's bib messaged us on the Nielsen show today too, and I really like the handle. Pat Maroon's bib says, Tip joins Seattle. They have Eberle, Larson, Schultz, Yams, Shore, Seahawks special teams Seattle special teams just improved. I don't know how Seattle really factors into the overall bigger picture. I I'd said it, I guess it was on Two Guys, maybe. By the way, thanks for filling in on Two Guys yesterday. But I think it was on Two Guys last week. I basically said, I feel like Seattle could get back to their ceiling, which was last year. Like, like, could Seattle be as good as they were last year? Yes, I think they could. Yeah. Could they be better? I don't think so. Like, I think it's likely that they're a little bit worse than they were last year as opposed to a little bit better. But I think it's okay and kind of reasonable to expect them to be close to as good as they were last year, right? Is that that's not a hot take on Seattle in any way, is it?
They've got confidence. They know what they're capable of. But then you've got the fact that the league is not taking them lightly anymore. So there's that target on their back. Those two forces battling each other out every night that the Kraken play. I do think that they take a step back. You still look at their roster, and outside of Matty Beniers, and Jarrett McCann had a great season last year. Eberle's still an effective player, but you don't go, wow, look at that roster. They have so much jam and pop and all these sexy name players. Like they still don't have that. It's by committee. You look at the goaltending, and you're like, is Martin Jones going to go on a heater again this year? I unlikely. I would assume.
I mean, overall, their goaltending wasn't even really that good last year in the regular season.
I know, but Jones had this like nice run, and everyone's like, "Look at Martin Jones, he is back." It's like, is he? Is he really? Have you looked at his overall numbers? I do think that they're going to be in the mix. I don't think that they're catapulting themselves to the top of the Pacific Division picture, but I don't think they're an easy night any night you play them this season. But I do think that the league is more ready for the Seattle Kraken, and we'll see how it shakes down. I think they'll be in the mix for a wild card spot again. Absolutely.
Kevin Cassian says Seattle is not going on an 11-game winning streak again this year, which is
that was insane.
That's a good thing to point out. I mean, let's say you take 7 of 11. All of that's 8 extra points that just came during this miraculous run, right? The 4 extra games there. So I would, I don't think we need to agree with you, Kev. I think you're probably 100% correct in that situation. Okay, so what about this team? Do we know anything about the Canucks tonight?
I tried texting our good friends over in Vancouver. They said way better lineup than what we saw in Calgary. That got thumped 10-zip.
I would hope.
Yeah. No word on Demko as of, like an hour ago.
Yeah.
And then what I was told was expect to see Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson tonight.
Okay, well, that's good for people going to this preseason game. I mean, if you win these tickets, you're going to really like the talent on the ice here in preseason action. I think the number over at Coolbet was set at 6.5. I'm not 100% sure if those have continued to roll in one way or the other on that line being moved a little bit. How do the Canucks factor in here this year, Tommy? Kind of like how they factored in last year, or is there some stabilization in the organization here from a coaching perspective?
I'm not sure. I know a lot of people have said that they could compete for a wild card spot or they could be in the mix. And are they that much better, even on paper, than they were last year? And was it really the coach and the turmoil with the GM president? Is Rick Tocchet the solution? Has Rick Tocchet really taken a team anywhere as a head coach in the NHL? How was he in Tampa? What did he get out of a Coyotes team that he had, not a great roster, but he kind of, they got into the round of 16 out of the bubble, right?
Yeah.
That was Tocchet. That was it. Outside of that, it's just been he gets his guys to work hard. He has some great sound bites. He's a good guy. I know he's really well liked, but does he coax the best out of this group? I don't know. I don't know.
Here's Rick Tocchet's coaching record so far. Tampa, 2008-2009, missed playoffs. Tampa, 2009-2010, missed playoffs. Arizona, 17-18, missed playoffs. Arizona, 18-19, missed playoffs. Arizona, 19-20, lost in the first round of Colorado.
Right.
Arizona, 2021, fifth in West, missed playoffs. Vancouver Canucks, last year, just 36 games, did go 20-12-4. but still with the spot that team was at, missed playoffs.
In garbage time.
In garbage time, missed the playoffs. He has a career winning percentage of not very good, I think you can say. So, yeah, I mean, you can look at that and go, okay, well, why is this guy supposed to be the one that turns around the Vancouver Canucks? Now, he won 20 of 36 once he took over. So maybe that's all you should look at because that's the team he has to work with, right?
Yeah. I still think the Calgary Flames are a better team than the Vancouver Canucks. I think the Seattle Kraken are a better team than the Vancouver Canucks. I think obviously LA, Edmonton, and Vegas are better than the Vancouver Canucks. I don't know if they've gotten the mix right in Vancouver.
Well, what are they missing then? Because let's just look at the Canucks here. They're rolling out JT Miller, Pettersson, Kuzmenko, Besser, Connor Garland, Beauvillier. You got Teddy Bluger, brought in Pius Suter. Hoaglander's still on a pretty nice little deal. It's not a lineup that's, really short on talent. I mean, there's a pretty talented group there. Then on the back end, I think this is probably where you're seeing the issues. Quinn Hughes, Tyler Myers, Hronik, who I don't mind. Carson Soucy, Ian Cole, Rathbone, Matt Irwin. And I know Gager's been a huge fan of Thatcher Demko in the past, kind of cool on him a little bit this year, but maybe the Canucks, like most teams in the National Hockey League, come down to what Thatcher Demko can give you, but when you look at that blue line in front of him, I'm not 100% sure how much you expect, Tommy.
I know. And I saw, I think it was the guys in Vancouver, I believe it was an article or some tweets talking about, Soucy and him stabilizing the blue. Like, he's a good defenseman, but is he going to really solidify and fill a hole there that's going to fix everything in their defensive zone? I think that's a big ask. That's a big ask. And who's the other one? Ian Cole. I think they were looking at Ian Cole, saying he's another guy.
Yeah, Cole.
How are those guys the solution? They're good NHL defensemen. I like Soucy. I mean, we knew that the Oilers were hot on him a couple of years ago, but I don't think that fixes them and catapults them or even nudges them any closer to a playoff spot than where they were before, outside of the fact that they're all starting together this year. And, maybe they do get a Thatcher Demko that goes on a heater and the defense is just good enough to put together a decent run. But I don't feel inspired by that roster.
Nor should you. I mean, the division is broken down in an interesting way because you got the Sharks and Ducks. I mean, I'm not expecting anything from either of those teams.
No.
Then you basically have the Flames and the Canucks trying to work their way back up into that top group. And like you said, you like the Flames more than the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Flames, with the talent on that roster, and this is putting aside the fact that some of their best players don't want to re-sign there, although we heard the news about Backlund the other day, which is a good sign for Calgary fans. But, they have a coach now that's not going to drive them up the wall or wear them down the way Darryl
almost
Sutter
set
did.
free, right?
Exactly. Now I think, we're going to see a better Jonathan Huberdeau. That back end is pretty good. Does Jacob Markstrom find his game again like he did 2 years ago? I would say more likely than not, considering how bad he was last year. I think Nazem Kadri is still an excellent NHL player. Like, they have good, Mangiapane is good, and Dylan Dubé, like, they have good players. It's just, I really do think that Darryl Sutter was a detriment to them just by how hard and consistently and nonstop he pushed that group and demanded. And I think it drove them up the wall to the point where they kind of imploded last year. I think the Calgary Flames should have a bounce back here. That's a team that I think could be better than Seattle.
Pre-season look at the Canucks tonight. We haven't talked anything about the blue line tonight. Was anything made apparent who's playing on the back end tonight?
Nurse is in. Bouchard is in. From what I saw, they had, I think, 8 defensemen out there. Ben Gleason was out there. I think Kulak and Ceci were doing some work late, so I'm not sure that they're playing.
Nurse Bouchard going to be a thing, buddy, or what?
Right now, it looks like a thing. That's for sure. Yeah. And Kulak and Ceci working together all training camp and playing in that game together. I thought Kulak was really good, by the way. I didn't mention him. Really smooth.
He's always smooth
on a night
steady.
Where not a lot went it didn't go right for a lot of guys the other night in Winnipeg. Thought he was good, actually. And Ceci, it was all right as well. So that might be a decent third pair. Like, if Ceci's on the third pair, I think the noise quiets a little bit, because there was some last year. At $3 million or $3+, people, don't like that. And I feel like we might see Ceci, this might be the year they move on from him, depending on what happens. But I like him. I feel like he's good. Those two at a combined, $6 million in the third pair. But where does Desharnais fit into all
well,
that means Broberg is playing with Ekholm, right? And has Broberg done enough?
It would also mean that Desharnais is playing with Ekholm too. Like when he's in the lineup, if Broberg's out, I think it's great for those two young defensemen to have a chance to play with Ekholm, but do you think that's the best thing for the team right now, Tommy?
Ultimately, no. No. And so I think that they maybe try it out and see where it goes. And if they're getting wins, they have the patience to keep rolling it out there. But if there's some struggles, and especially the young guys have issues, or Desharnais has a struggle, then I think they revert back to what was working. And that's, Nurse with Ceci, Ekholm with Bouchard, and then Kulak with either Desharnais or Broberg, depending on the day, depending on if they play 11-7 or if they go 12-6. Something that also came up today with Jay Woodcroft, that he's like, flexibility, and he also said one interesting thing about that too. He's kind of like, I'm paraphrasing obviously, but it's, if you earn the time on the ice and you earn the right to play in the game. So, that, I think that was kind of like not a warning shot, but just a signal to, hey, we're not just putting you out there because we only have 7 defensemen and 12 forwards. Like, if a guy's not playing well at forward and should sit, then they'll go 11-7. Or if there's a defenseman struggling, then they'll go back to 12-6. They're only going to.
You're kind of competing with everybody on the roster. If you're Desharnais and Broberg, you're competing with Sutter, Matthias Janmark, like those guys who could be scratched, right? So.
Yeah, he made a point of bringing that up, and I was like, I feel like he's not BSing us on this, and I feel like that's kind of a part of the messaging that's gone to the group this season.
All right, so that'll be something to watch as we work our way through the game tonight. Let's just quickly wrap up with, how confident are you in the Nurse Bouchard pairing? Like, how do you think? I feel like it could be amazing. Or it could be after the first game on your post-game show, people are going to be like, what is Woody thinking? Why are these two guys together? They're both train wrecks in their own end. Like, I could see it going that way. So this is something we'll talk about for the next 2 weeks. But I don't know. Which side do you lean on right now? Because I lean a little bit more towards the defensive zone, I'm kind of worried side. Is that where you would lean too?
When I saw that they were paired up, and that's kind of the way it's been going consistently for the first bit of camp, I was like, oh, okay. So I'm a little apprehensive towards it too. And let's, I suppose, give it a chance and see how these guys handle playing together, find the rhythm with one another. But my instinct wasn't like, of course, Nurse and Bouchard. Why didn't I think of that? I was just like, really? Oh, all right. Let's see how this progresses. And if there is success there, and these guys can handle the defensive zone without too many blips and bad turnovers and hearing footsteps and overdoing things. And I am oddly curious. I would put my fate in these guys at, like, I believe I would give them like a 65%.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm at about a 6 right now. Level of confidence at about a 6.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to last.
Yeah, this text in 780-218-9999. No confidence in Nurse Bouch pairing. they will get lit up. So let's see how that plays out. We did have the contest going on today for those tickets. Thank you to everybody who got in. One more time, just give you the answer. Where did Dylan Holloway play his college hockey? It was for the Wisconsin Badgers. If you answered with Wisconsin, you'll go into a draw. We'll pick one of you here right after the show and fire you those tickets. You can go to the game tonight. Cole and Ellerslie, I like that idea. Everybody watching right now, before we sign off here, hammer that thumbs up button. That would go a long way for us. Northside Sandwich had messaged in and says, EST doing a pregame tonight. We're not doing a pregame tonight, but we are going to mix in a couple of preseason pregame shows between now. Just kind of take it for a run here. But obviously, once the regular season hits, every single game, pregame, postgame, live local content here at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. So very much looking forward to that.
How do you like this backdrop, by the way? I built it all yesterday. Awana came and helped me get this. This shelving unit is massive.
Oh, did Maddie end up helping you on this?
Well, to lift it.
Oh, okay.
I built it on the floor of the studio in my condo.
Yeah.
And then
is that on an IKEA special?
It is.
Okay, yeah, I got 3 of those in my house. Yeah.
They're great.
They are great.
And so much storage space down
below. Oh yeah, you
can
get the little bins and everything, buddy. It's
I have those.
Yeah, no, it's great. But no, it looks good.
Are we feeling good about
it's a little tight on our window, but when you get on a one shot, it'll look sweet because then you can see everything going on behind you. So that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And I still have to fill the other slots.
Yeah, but no, this looks good. I think it looks awesome, man. Yeah, no, I think it looks really good.
You got the Nugent Hopkins gloves that were given to me eons ago. All the pucks. I got all these pucks here. Yeah. This is a guitar from the All-Star game in Nashville. Farewell Rexall Oil Kings. Farewell Rexall Oilers. Some Double E stuff up there.
The on-air.
The on-air light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some Gretzky stuff. Ty like that. He sent me a text. He's like, that looks great. So got to represent. And then Ghostbusters. So I'm working on it.
It's going to be good, buddy. I like it.
And then Dusty.
Oh, Hockey Guide record books. God. Yeah. Right when you moved your head, Kenny Holland was like, what? Amazing.
He's got those.
This guy knows everything. That's good. I like that. That's good. All right. That's going to do it for our coverage today here at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Obviously, on the live stream right now, you'll get a replay of our show from earlier on today. And we keep that content rolling 24/7 all the way around the clock as well. Guys, I just bought a Hyman jersey from Pro-Am because they support the show. Boom. I know it's been a busy day at Pro-Am over there with all the AM Nasties and Edmonton Sports Talkers popping by there. We've got a meeting at Alley Cat this afternoon. We're going to do some testing for our new lager, which is exciting as well. So, yeah, big things going on here at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Very excited about. Tommy, get us out of here, bud.
Okay. A huge thank you to Larry for hooking us up with the tickets to give away. And that's a big thank you. He's a big EST guy. Dusty, one of those older guys that didn't really understand the concept till he watched and listened. He's all in now, so people get it.
I love it. Hernan's still here. This is awesome. He's been off for 2 years. He doesn't want to leave. Yeah, they're both still here.
He wants to come to the beer tasting.
Yeah, exactly.
Get him in here. Get him in here.
Oh, great.
My goodness.
I love it.
Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We will be doing the pre- and post-game show right away here, but not tonight. This beer tasting is taking precedent, and we'll get things going. I'm glad the home studio is finally ready to go. You got to come and see it, Dusty.
Yeah.
You got to come and see it. I can host people now. It's great.
Yeah, well, I might be parking around your building, then going over to games with you. I mean, we'll see how it works. So, all right, buddy, I'll talk to you. I talk to you on Friday. I'll be in Vancouver. And are you around tomorrow?
I'll see you in a couple of hours.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I guess I'll see you this afternoon. Man.
What is wrong with you?
Buddy. My days are all merged together. I'll see you in 60 minutes, buddy. We'll see you later, man.
The Lock Shop.
We've been doing this for a long time. We spend all this time salivating over the season. Sometimes, if you haven't learned your lesson, you go hard betting on week 1, and then we get ready